Mike Welch coming to you from Saratoga with a very special guest today on our DRF video, former rider Richard Migliore, now racing analyst. Rich, great to have you here.
Yeah, it's always great. I love talking horses with you. So not only do I get a lot out of it, I learn things from you, so it's fun.
Well, vice versa too. It works both ways. We're going to talk about the feature races coming up here on Sunday and Monday, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the possibility of rain coming in overnight Saturday and into Sunday and Monday. Could have a major impact on both races, especially the turf race on Monday, the Crest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll do everything they can to keep that race on the turf, but certainly if it runs and we get the rain that potentially they're calling for, it'll be soft, so it certainly changed things up a bit. Yeah,
it could impact not only the race itself, but the field size, who's going to stay in, who's going to come out. We were just talking earlier, and we'll get to lull later, but I'm not so sure we'll see lull in there if the course comes up anything other than firm. But let's start with the big race for the weekend, and that's the Coaching Club Oaks. A small field, but boy, it's a great field. The two, I guess, leaders of the division at this point, Midnight Pursuit and Monomy Girl. What's your thoughts here? Is it a two-horse race? And of those two, who do you prefer?
Well, I really do see it as a two-horse race, and I've been a big Midnight Pursuit fan. I think she had legitimate excuses in the Kentucky Oaks. She didn't break. She got too far back. The track was labeled fast, but it had a lot of moisture in it. It seemed like kind of a greasier surface to me. But that being said, Monomoy Girl just seems like she has such a tactical advantage here. Who's going to take her on early? If Midnight Pursuit is the one who's got to do the dirty work, doesn't that hurt her chances? I
would think so too. It's going to be a rider's race, and Mike Smith, he's pretty good in these kind of situations, so wouldn't count him out. And again, Midnight Pursuit now with Steve Asmussen. Since the first meeting between these two, a change in bonds there. Not sure that's going to have any be a factor. Was in pretty good hands before as well. But just of the others in here, Chocolate Martini, Eskimo Kisses, you see either of them having any impact here, especially if the two favorites kind of ding-donging up front?
Well, I mean, and that's what the hope is of the other riders. Ride to get a check, ride to be third. It's still, your grade one place then. And if they make mistakes, and they get too involved with each other, maybe you get lucky. I think for me, the one that I would look to that I think could fit that bill would be Eskimo Kisses. I mean, you pointed out she's got good races in the slop. She closed really well in the Kentucky Oaks, only beaten less than 5 lengths to Monomoy Girl. She's the one. If something crazy happens and these guys got in a cutthroat duel, I think she's the beneficiary.
And both these horses did work well here. They got to work in over the racetrack, which could be important, the way the track's been playing the first few days of the meet. Eskimo Kisses especially, I thought looked good breezing here last week for the race. Let's look at the Caress now. These are some of the top turf sprinting fillies and mares in the country. We're familiar with a lot of them. Morticia, and again, like I said, Low. We've seen them here before. Fire Key, 2 for 2 over the course. Assuming the race stays on the grass and we get lucky and we get a firm course, who do you prefer?
Well, in a firm course, I'm going to go with Lull. I just think she's going to get the right trip turning back in distance, but she is a filly that wants to hear her feet rattle. She really appreciates firm ground. I think with the turn back and the amount of speed I see in here, she's going to kind of get that cozy, covered up trip that you want on the turf. Now, you got to get lucky, either get through or get out at some point, but watching her train, she always trains somewhat keen. In her races, she kind of wants to go on. With the amount of speed in here, I think she gets comfortable in behind horses without pulling too much and works out the right trip.
And she did work well. She works on the main track usually. She worked well down at Belmont before I came up here. But one horse that's been really impressed me training, and that was up here, is Tilia's Lily. Now, she is 4 for 4. This is a major step up in class for her. Jonathan Thomas, he's been on a roll of late. This horse just worked so terrific over the turf course last week. Went 48 around the dogs in company, finished strong, galloped out another quarter mile around the turn. She's got an outside post. She's going to have to break sharp and kind of get over and not get hung out too wide. Not sure what a less than firm course would mean for her, but boy, she couldn't be coming into the race any better.
Well, she's intriguing on so many levels, and add another layer that you like the way she's training, so that definitely elevates her in my mind. But she's actually won in an off-the-turf event in the slop, so she's got that covered. She won on good ground last time at Belmont. It was still more on the firm side, but it was labeled good. She's won on fast. She's won down the hill at Santa Anita. I think you got to feel like she's going to handle whatever ground or whatever situation comes up, and you got to like the ones in front of her name. 4 for 4, it's tough to get past.
Well, we're looking forward to 2 more great days of racing here, opening weekend. get 1 day off and then back at it for the first full week next week. Rich, I know you're going to be here the entire meet. Looking forward to having you here again. And for the best, remember, we'll have Rich here, and for the best coverage of Saratoga 2018, it's right here on DRF.com. And don't forget, DRF Live.